Imagine you spent the last 20 years playing a game where the rules were perfectly clear.
Right.
Like a solid contract existed between you and the internet.
Yeah, a very predictable contract.
Exactly. You ask a question, the search engine gives you, 10 blue links, and then
Yeah.
you do the actual work. You click, you read, you extract the answer yourself.
Right. You do the heavy lifting.
But as of July 18th, 2026, that board has just been completely flipped over.
It really has.
It's like the helpful librarian who used to just point you to the right bookshelf. They aren't doing that anymore. Instead, the librarian is just like reading you a quick summary, locking the door of the library, and setting the book on fire so you can never actually read the original source.
Wow. Yeah, that is a grim but accurate way to put it.
Yeah. Right. Well, welcome to the deep dive. Today we are unpacking the SEO Daily Technology Report that was released specifically on July 18th, 2026. And our mission for you, the listener, is to decode this massive fundamental shift in how human beings discover information online. Because the traditional Google search you grew up with is, well, it's dead.
Completely dead.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the mechanics of what has actually replaced it are just staggering.
Yeah, the data we are analyzing from this July 18th, 2026 report, it provides a pretty brutal reality check for, anyone who publishes anything online.
Brutal is the right word.
It really is.
Okay.
Like for informational queries. So when you are asking a question, looking for a recipe, trying to understand a historical event, an estimated 79% of those searches now trigger an AI overview at the absolute top of the Google search results page.
Wait. 79%?
Yeah, 79%. So nearly 8 times out of 10, an artificial intelligence is synthesizing the answer for you right there.
That is just wild.
And it pushes the traditional website links so far down the page, they might as well, not even exist. And this behavior is bleeding heavily into commercial queries now, too.
Stop there for a second, because the sheer scale of that number, 79%, that changes the entire geometry of the internet.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if I'm running a website, I rely on people clicking my link, right? To buy my product or read my writing. If the search engine is just answering the question before the user even has a chance to scroll, how do you even survive as a website owner when the search engine just refuses to send you traffic?
Well, you don't. At least not the old way. The report mentions that some industries are seeing a 30 to 40% drop in organic clicks.
Yeah, 30 to 40%. That feels like, an extinction level event for digital publishers.
It is an extinction event for the old model, for sure. We are seeing the profound impact of Google's embedded AI mode now.
Right, which is huge on mobile, from what I read.
Exactly. It's a conversational interface built directly into the search engine, heavily utilized on mobile devices. When you read that initial AI overview, you are no longer presented with a simple link to learn more. You get a chat box instead. Right. You are presented with a chat box to ask a follow-up question. The search engine's entire goal is to trap you on the results page. You drill deeper and deeper into a topic, and you never, ever actually visit the source website. Wow. What's fascinating here is it's not about fighting the AI anymore. You can't try to trick an algorithm into giving you a traditional click.
Because the click is gone.
Exactly. Survival in mid-2026 requires entirely pivoting your strategy. You have to optimize your digital presence so that your brand, your data, and your specific viewpoint are the exact materials the AI chooses to extract and cite in its summary.
So you have to become the source material.
Yes. Factual accuracy, structured data, and authoritative sourcing, those are the new table stakes. If you aren't optimizing to be the AI's source material, your traffic isn't just eroding, it is vanishing.
Which means, I guess, the entire language we use to communicate with search engines has to change. Like, if the goal is to be cited by the machine, we need a new way to communicate with it.
We do. We have to bridge that gap fundamentally.
And that brings us to the shift from traditional SEO to GEO.
Right, generative engine optimization. In the first half of 2026, GEO moved from this, fringe experimental theory to an absolutely mandatory discipline.
It's everywhere now.
It really is. It sits right alongside and in some cases completely supersedes traditional search engine optimization.
Right.
GEO is the specific practice of architecting your digital content so that generative AI engines like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and Claude will confidently cite you as a source in their generated answers.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, because I want to drill into the technical mechanism of this. The report highlights this new standard called LMS.txt.
Oh, yeah. An LMS.txt file.
And I have to admit, I have some confusion here. Because for decades, the internet has relied on something called robots.txt to talk to crawlers, right?
Sure, yeah. since the early days.
So why on earth do we need a separate brand new file specifically for large language models? I mean, is lms.txt just a VIP pass specifically for AI crawlers? Why do we need both?
Think about the different motivations of the software reading your site.
Mm-hmm.
The traditional robots.txt file, it acts like a security guard or like a bouncer at the
That's
door.
a bouncer, okay.
Its primary job is restrictive. It tells web crawlers, hey, you are allowed in the public lobby, but you are absolutely not allowed in the administrative back office.
Right. Keep out of the private stuff.
Exactly. But the lms.txt standard, which, by the way, has surged to about 15 to 20% adoption among major websites as of this July 18th, 2026 report, it serves a completely different function. It acts as a highly trained, proactive tour guide.
A tour guide?
Yeah, specifically designed for the quirks of an AI model.
Wait, unpack that. What makes an AI model's quirks different from like a traditional Google bot?
Well, an AI model scraping the web for training data or for real-time retrieval, it absolutely hates parsing messy code.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It doesn't want to load your cascading style sheets. It doesn't want to execute your heavy JavaScript animations. And it definitely doesn't want to figure out your complex HTML menus.
Because that's too heavy.
Exactly. All of that requires massive computing power to render. An LLM just wants raw, clean, factually dense text, usually formatted in something really simple like Markdown.
Okay, that makes sense.
So the lms.txt file sits at the root of your domain and explicitly points the AI crawler to those clean, stripped-down versions of your most important content.
So it's basically saying, hey, skip the pretty stuff, just read this.
Right. It says, if you want to understand my company's pricing or our core philosophy, skip the pretty website and read this raw data file. And early adopters of this standard are seeing measurable spikes in AI referral traffic.
Just by making it easier to read.
Yes, because they are actively reducing the computational friction for the AI. You are literally spoon-feeding the machine exactly what it wants, in the exact format it wants.
Spoon-feeding the AI. Man, I love the visual of that. But we aren't just feeding one monolithic machine anymore, are we?
Not at all.
Because if the playbook is now GEO, Google is definitively not the only game in town.
No. The search landscape documented in this July 18th, 2026 report is just deeply fragmented. We are operating in a multi-engine universe now.
Right, the big four.
Yeah, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, and Gemini. Those are the big four. And they're all sending massive amounts of real, trackable referral traffic to external websites.
Okay.
But the critical insight for anyone trying to maintain visibility is that these four engines do not behave the same way at all. They each possess a distinct personality or like an algorithmic bias when it comes to citation.
Think about your own habits for a second if you're listening. If you use Perplexity, you know it operates almost like a hyper-caffeinated research assistant.
Huh. Yes, exactly.
Right. It prioritizes highly authoritative, incredibly recent sources, and it loves to show its work with those explicit footnote citations. But if you switch over to ChatGPT, the vibe is totally different.
Right. ChatGPT favors conversational depth. Under the hood, its retrieval mechanism places a massive premium on what we call EEAT signals.
EEAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
Exactly. It wants to synthesize an answer from a source that demonstrates deep historical subject matter expertise.
And what about Claude?
Claude, on the other hand, is engineered by Anthropic to emphasize nuanced, well-reasoned logic.
Okay.
If your content presents a balanced argument rather than just screaming facts at the user, Claude is far more likely to extract it.
That tracks with Anthropic's whole ethos.
Yeah. And then you have Gemini, Google's native AI, which heavily rewards structured, entity-rich data. It wants your information organized into very clean, predictable categories.
So what does this all mean? The implication here is massive for you as a listener. If you are a business owner or a creator and you are only formatting your content to appease Google's Gemini, you are essentially invisible to the millions of people asking questions on ChatGPT or Claude.
Completely invisible.
You are abandoning nearly half of the discovery ecosystem. But that leads to an obvious problem. How do you even know if you are winning? If the ecosystem is this fragmented, traditional tracking tools must be completely obsolete.
They are, and this fragmentation birthed an entirely new category of monitoring tools in 2026. The report details several, like Trackings.ai and Athena HQ, but it really points to Nightwatch as the current standout.
Oh yeah, Nightwatch.
Yeah, Nightwatch completely rebuilt its architecture to be an AI native visibility module. It's about $39 a month. And from one single dashboard, a user can track their traditional keyword positions on legacy search engines alongside their AI-generated visibility on platforms like ChatGPT and Perplexity.
Okay, let me push back on a detail in the report here. It says Nightwatch tracks this AI visibility across over 100,000 different global locations.
Right.
Why does location even matter for an AI chatbot? Does ChatGPT in London really give a fundamentally different answer than ChatGPT in Tokyo?
It absolutely does. And the mechanism behind that is retrieval augmented generation, or AIR-RAG.
Right, right.
When you ask a localized question, say, what are the best corporate tax lawyers? The AI doesn't just rely on its static training data. It pings a localized search index in real time.
Oh, I see.
It pulls in the top results for that specific geographic coordinate and then synthesizes its answer. So if you run an international franchise or even just a multi-city business, your AI visibility in London will be entirely different from Tokyo.
Because the underlying localized data feeding the AI is different.
Exactly. And Nightwatch tracks that daily, allowing you to see exactly where your GEO strategy is failing geographically.
Which naturally begs the question about the legacy heavy hitters. If a lean AI native tool like Nightwatch is revolutionizing visibility tracking, how are the massive traditional platforms, the old guard like Semrush and Arifs, surviving this paradigm shift?
Well, they survived by evolving into deep analytics engines. Let's look at the mechanics of Semrush in July 2026. It's sitting at about $139 a month. Knowing you lost visibility on Nightwatch is one thing. Diagnosing why you lost it requires massive data aggregation.
Right, you need the why.
So Semrush rolled out their 2026 Copilot, which basically operates as an automated AI-driven data analyst. Its most vital feature right now is AI-driven traffic attribution.
Okay, but how does that actually work? Because these AI engines are notoriously secretive. When someone clicks a link from a ChatGPT conversation, ChatGPT often strips out all the referral data.
Yeah, they do.
So your website analytics just show it as anonymous direct traffic. How can Semrush possibly attribute that?
Through sophisticated probabilistic modeling. Semrush's Copilot ingests your raw server logs, your traditional analytics, and massive third-party clickstream data.
Just mountains of data.
Mountains. And it looks for correlation anomalies. If your Nightwatch dashboard shows a sudden 40% spike in visibility on a specific prompt in ChatGPT,
Right.
and your analytics show a simultaneous unexplained spike in anonymous direct traffic landing on the exact page that answers that prompt, Semrush's Copilot mathematically bridges that gap.
Oh, wow.
It attributes the traffic to the AI with a confidence score, turning that invisible data into actionable intelligence.
I like to think of it this way. Semrush is like the macro radar system looking at the entire global weather pattern of search. It tells you the storm is coming.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Arefs, on the other hand, is the laser scalpel, or the electron microscope. It is looking at the specific molecular bonds holding the web together, which are backlinks.
Right. Arefs is still the king of link data. It's running around $129 a month right now.
And the report notes Arefs is refreshing its link index every 15 to 30 minutes for top domains. That speed is incredible.
It is. They also have a new AI-assisted site explorer for spotting toxic link patterns.
But let me challenge the core premise of Arefs for a second. If generative AI engines like Claude and Perplexity are just reading the actual content to synthesize answers, do traditional Aref-style backlinks even hold the same weight they used to? I mean, why do we care who links to us if the AI just wants to read the words?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, backlinks absolutely still matter, but their mechanical function has completely shifted. They are no longer just a raw voting mechanism designed to push you up the list of 10 blue links. In the AI era, backlinks serve as the foundational validation layer.
Ah, validation.
Before an AI model decides to extract your text and present it as a fact to a user, it needs to verify that you are a legitimate node in the knowledge graph. I mean, anyone can publish a scientifically inaccurate article.
Right, unfortunately.
So the AI uses the link graph, the map of which authoritative sites point to your site, to establish your EET. If major universities and established news outlets link to you, the AI trusts your text.
And if they don't?
If no one links to you, the AI just assumes your text is hallucinated or unreliable. So Arifs remains vital because you still have to mathematically prove your authority to the machine before it will even bother reading your content.
That clarifies it perfectly. The authority gets you in the door, but the actual text, the words on the page, has to be structurally flawless.
Absolutely flawless.
Which brings us to a massive obsession in the 2026 SEO community: content, trustworthiness, and freshness.
Right. And the tool dominating this space right now is Clean. Generative engines desperately prioritize reliable current information.
Because they don't want to look stupid.
Exactly. If a machine detects that your content is stale, it will discard it entirely to avoid hallucinating outdated facts to the user. So Eat Clean addresses this by running automated freshness audits.
But how does a piece of software know if my writing is stale?
It doesn't just look at the date you published the article. Clean actively cross-references the claims in your text against a real-time knowledge graph.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if your article cites a financial regulation from 2024 and the global knowledge graph shows the regulation was repealed in 2025, Clean flags that specific sentence.
That is incredibly specific.
It's wild. It analyzes your external links to see if they point to dead pages or untrusted domains. It mathematically scores your credibility and then recommends surgical content pruning. It literally tells you exactly which paragraphs to update and which to delete to protect your site's overall trust score.
So once you know what needs fixing, you bring in the optimization muscle. The report pairs this freshness auditing with Surfer SEO, which is about $99 a month. I kind of laugh at this because it's like getting your website inspected by a ruthless health inspector, which is Clean, before sending it to a personal trainer, Surfer SEO, to get ripped.
That's exactly what it is. Surfer is the personal trainer. It relies on a deeply sophisticated natural language processing, or NLP, engine to optimize your content structure.
Right. And the mechanics of that NLP engine are what make it indispensable. Surfer doesn't just look for how many times you repeat a keyword anymore.
No, keyword stuffing is ancient history. Surfer uses vector embeddings. It translates the text of the top-performing content across the web into mathematical coordinates, mapping the semantic distance between concepts.
Okay, break that down.
Basically, it tells you that if you are writing about artificial intelligence, your text mathematically requires a certain density of related concepts like neural networks and machine learning to be considered comprehensive by an AI crawler. And as of 2026, Surfer is deeply integrated with AI writers like Jasper and ChatGPT to create this optimized first workflow.
But if Surfer is writing optimized first drafts just for AI crawlers, are we just having machines talk to machines now?
This raises an important question. And it is the central defining tension of the digital economy right now.
It's a weird loop.
It is a weird loop. You are serving two masters with fundamentally opposed desires. You have to craft content that satisfies human curiosity, content with voice, insight, and actual lived experience. But it must remain rigidly structured underneath so the AI can extract it cleanly. The machine doesn't appreciate poetry. It appreciates parsed data.
Right. And to make sure the machine can parse that data instantly, we need a shared language. Which brings us to the underlying foundation of all of this, the defining architectural trend of 2026. Entity SEO.
Yes. The industry shift from strings to things is finally complete.
Things, not strings.
Exactly. In the past, you optimized for a string of text, the literal letters in a keyword. Today, you optimize for entities. An entity is a clearly defined object in a knowledge graph. A person, a place, an organization, a distinct concept.
Let's break that down for the non-developers listening. If I type the word apple, the search engine has to guess if I mean the fruit with calories and seeds or the technology company run by Tim Cook.
Right, it's ambiguous.
The way we remove that guesswork for the AI is through structured data, specifically something called JSON-LD. Think of JSON-LD as taking your beautifully written poetic paragraph and silently attaching a rigid hidden spreadsheet to it. It tells the robot, hey, do not guess the context here. This page is about entity A, which is a corporation founded in this year, located in this city.
Precisely. And the July 2026 report highlights a massive resurgence in FAQ schema, specifically because of this.
Oh, FAQ schema. I remember when that was huge.
Yeah, years ago, people used FAQ schema just to get those pretty drop-down menus on the Google search page.
Yeah.
Now, they use it because generative AI assistants fundamentally learn through structured Q&A formats.
That makes total sense.
If you organize your entity data into explicit questions and answers using JSON-LD, you drastically lower the computational cost for the AI to understand and cite your page.
But here is the brutal reality. All the brilliant entity SEO in the world, all the mathematically perfect Surfer content, and all the Ahrefs backlinks mean absolutely nothing if your website's plumbing is broken.
Nothing at all.
If an AI crawler hits your site and trips over a critical JavaScript error before it can even reach your hidden spreadsheet, you vanish.
Which is exactly why technical auditing remains completely non-negotiable. The report points to the Screaming Frog SEO Spider as the critical tool here. It's sitting at about $259 a year.
Classic.
A total classic. It crawls your entire site architecture looking for broken links, redirect loops, and missing tags. But the game changer for their 2026 version is AI-powered issue prioritization.
Because getting a spreadsheet with 10,000 broken links is just overwhelming. You never know what to fix first.
Exactly. Screaming Frog now calculates the actual return on investment for fixing a technical error.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it cross-references your log files and analytics to say, hey, this specific JavaScript rendering issue is blocking AI crawlers from accessing your highest converting product pages.
Wow.
It literally tells you, if you dedicate developer time to fixing this one error, you stand to recover this specific percentage of AI visibility. It translates technical plumbing issues into business language, which is essential when you are fighting for every scrap of algorithmic attention.
Okay, let's pull all of these complex threads together. The digital landscape of July 18th, 2026 has completely rewritten the contract.
Completely.
The traditional click is shrinking rapidly because 79% of queries now trigger AI overviews that trap the user on the page. To survive, you must pivot to generative engine optimization. You implement an lms.txt file to serve as a tour guide for AI models, bypassing all the heavy code. You optimize for a multi-engine universe, tracking the distinct personalities of ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude using AI-native tools like Nightwatch. You diagnose your traffic using Semrush's probabilistic modeling, and you secure your foundational authority with ERFs.
That's the stack.
You mathematically prove your freshness with ET-Clean, you structure your semantic vectors with SERPs, and you underpin the entire operation with strict entity SEO and flawless technical health via Screaming Frog. The singular focus of the modern web is to be the most reliable, structurally perfect, easily extractable node of information in existence.
That captures the total paradigm shift perfectly.
Yeah.
So considering the reality of these tools, the absolute dominance of AI overviews, and the conversational interfaces keeping us locked on the search page, think about your own behavior.
Yeah.
Based on all these tools and shifts, what stands out to you about how your own online reading and research habits have fundamentally changed over the last few years? Are you still hunting for original sources, or have you fully outsourced your curiosity to the AI?
It is a fascinating shift to observe in ourselves. And it leaves me with one final kind of terrifying thought to chew on as we wrap up. We started by talking about the librarian reading you a summary and burning the original book, right?
Yeah.
Well, consider the logical endpoint of this entire GEO ecosystem. If every publisher on Earth is using tools like Surfer to write content specifically to be extracted by AI, and 79% of the public only ever reads the AI overview, what happens to the internet's collective knowledge base when these massive AI models inevitably start scraping and citing each other's AI-optimized summaries instead of original human research?
Oh, man.
Does the grand library of the internet just become an airtight echo chamber of robots summarizing robots? Something to think about as you navigate the new web. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and keep digging deeper.